The 2025 Champions League final is just a few days away, and we are ever so close to witnessing history once again. This season has been incredible since the first match day, and the new league phase format has made for some unbelievable action along the way. With just two teams left in the competition, PSG and Inter Milan will be fighting for the ultimate prize in club football as they look to cement their legacies for years to come. Today, we're taking a look at what this final means for these two sides as we try to predict the outcome of the most crucial match of the entire year. The Champions League trophy is about to find a new home, so let's go ahead and predict where it will end up. Before we get into the predictions, let's take a look at how both teams made it to the most coveted match in club football. Starting with PSG, it's crazy to think that just a few months ago, a Champions League final was completely out of reach. The Parisian side got off to a horrendous start in the league phase, coming away with just one win and 4 points from their first 5 matches. Their form finally began to improve with a 3-0 win over Salzburg on matchday 6, followed by their incredible 4-2 win over Manchester City and a dominant 4-1 victory over Stuttgart to finish their campaign. With 14 goals scored, 9 goals conceded, 13 points on the board, and a 15th place finish, things were looking decent for PSG, but a major turnaround was still necessary. That's exactly what they got when they were drawn against Brest in the playoff round, and with a 10-0 aggregate win over their French counterparts, PSG were finally looking like a contender once again. And now, after a thrilling penalty victory over Liverpool, a nail-biting triumph over Aston Villa, and a dominant performance against Arsenal, the Parisians are in their second ever Champions League final. Ousmane Dembele leads the way with 8 goals in the competition, Achraf Hakimi has registered 5 assists, and Gianluigi Donnarumma has kept 5 clean sheets. Strictly from a statistical perspective, PSG have all the firepower to come away with a victory in this match and the personnel to do it in thrilling fashion. But on the other end of the pitch, there's an Italian football club that will stop at nothing to avoid that from happening. Inter Milan had an incredibly successful league phase campaign, putting up 6 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss as they scored 11 goals and conceded just 1 to finish in a dominant 4th place. Their round of 16 tie against Feyenoord was won by a solid 4-1 scoreline, and their 4-3 aggregate win over Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals was a great display of attacking football. Inter Milan and Barcelona just played out one of the best, most action-packed Champions League semi-final ties of all time as they came out on top with a 7-6 aggregate victory. Lautaro Martinez leads the way with 9 goals, with Denzel Dumfries grabbing 3 assists along the way and Jan Sommer leading the league with 7 clean sheets. Inter Milan's dominance in this season's competition has come on both ends of the pitch, and it feels like they have been the most complete team in the tournament up to this point. But even with all the success they've had this season, a victory in this match will come at a premium as they face their biggest challenge yet. With the road to the final out of the way, let's talk about the two biggest X factors going into Saturday's match, with those being personnel and legacy. PSG's most recent appearance in the Champions League final came back in 2020 when they lost to Bayern Munich in Lisbon. Of the 11 players who started that match for PSG, the only active players who are still on the team in 2025 are Presnel Kimpembe and Marquinhos, who is currently their captain. The French side are essentially heading into Saturday's match with a team that has never played together on the world's biggest stage, and that could be their Achilles heel in this game. On the other side of the pitch, Inter Milan's most recent Champions League final appearance came in 2023 when they lost to Manchester City in Istanbul. From the 16 players who played in that final, 8 of them started their most recent match against Barcelona, which they won by a 4-3 scoreline. Inter Milan essentially have an unchanged lineup going into this season's final, apart from a different goalkeeper and a different striker. This team has been playing together for years, and their chemistry, unity, and cohesion could be their biggest strength when they go up against PSG. The other X factor in this match is what is at stake for these two clubs and the legacy that will follow both the winning side and the losing side. PSG had an incredibly successful domestic campaign, winning Ligue 1 by 19 points while also cruising their way to a 16th Coupe de France with a 3-0 win over Rennes in the final. Not only would a Champions League title give PSG the trophy they've been yearning for, but it would also put them in a very prestigious group of clubs who have managed to win the treble. On the other side of the pitch, Inter Milan lost the Serie A title to Napoli on the final matchday by 1 point, while also losing in the Coppa Italia to local rivals AC Milan in the semi-finals by a 4-1 aggregate scoreline. Not only do Inter Milan want to get revenge for their 2023 loss to Manchester City, but it feels like they need to win this final in order to save their 2024-25 season as well. Both teams may have a common goal in winning the final, but how they got here and what it would mean for the two clubs couldn't be any more different. With all the background information out of the way, let's get into my predictions for this season's Champions League final. With two heavyweights facing off in this match, the one thing I'm sure about is that we will finally get a high-scoring final for the first time since 2018. PSG have managed to score 9 goals in their last 6 knockout matches, while Inter Milan have scored 15 in the same time frame. It's fair to say that on paper, both teams have solid backlines, but something tells me that the offensive side of the ball will be the focus in this match. For PSG, it's safe to say that Ousmane Dembele will continue his scoring streak and will get at least one goal, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kvaratskhelia or Desiree Doué grab one as well. For Inter Milan, it's safe to say that Lautaro Martinez will redeem himself for his 2023 performance by scoring at least once, with either DeMarco or Frattesi going on to grab the second. I don't see this match going past the 90-minute mark, and I'm expecting it to be high-octane football from two sides who must win this match for their respective reasons. Overall, my final prediction is that this match ends as a 3-2 victory for PSG, with goals from Dembele, Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Martinez, and Frattesi making for the best Champions League final we've seen in recent years. But what did you think of my Champions League final prediction? Which team will you be rooting for, and what do you think the final scoreline will be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more football content, tier lists, and everything in between, and as always, I'll catch you next time.